We are Journals Out Loud. We're getting a call. We're here to address everything that matters in life. If you have a question about something that has to do with life or other things, call us.
I've been out there wandering.
Call us at 888-531-7171. 888-531-7171. I've just become my least favorite person because when I listen to Sirius XM and they have commercials, they know you're driving in the car, so they repeat the phone number like 3 or 4 times, and like by the 4th time they say the phone number, and like, I will hurt your face if you say that phone number one more time. Introduce everybody. Aaron's just randomly pointing like he's doing like that.
Point.
I have a dancing finger. Look at me. So we're here with Josh, Tara, Jabbar, Sean, and Katie Michael.
Hello.
In the booth, of course, we have Lindsay. And we're going to talk about everything that you have a question about. Please give us a call. We talk about life. We talk about things. At the top of the show, I would like to mention this. You're going to see Tara. You're going to look at Tara, and you're going to go, hey, what's up with Tara? Is she drunk? Is she on drugs? What's her problem?
Yeah,
What's
she's on drugs. All of the above.
Yes. And she's had her wisdom teeth removed. So
Today.
So where's your wisdom going to come from now, huh?
Not the teeth.
You get to keep them in a jar? Hey, wisdom. What's up?
I don't know where they put them. Like, I got to take a picture of it when I was very loopy, so I vaguely remember it. But, yeah, I don't know where they went. I kind of wanted them.
This whole thing could be a trap. Like, they have kids come in, take your wisdom tooth, and then they sell them overseas for, like, lots of money. And they just tell you it's good for you. It's a whole wisdom tooth trade that's happening. No? It's not a thing?
Could be.
They sell them to, like, elephants to replace their ivory. So it's a scam. We wanted to let you know that when you hear Tara talk, she's full of cotton and other drugs. I don't know what's happening, but yeah, she's pumped all full of stuff. But we're going to talk about things going on in the news right at the top of the show. And we noticed that today the Senate subcommittee approved Betsy DeVos as our Secretary of Education. You know, because she's smart and things. She must have had like 1 billion wisdom teeth removed, like really young, because she's got none, in my opinion. It was a 50-50 vote, and then Vice President Pence broke the tie. Who follows current events? Anybody?
Yeah.
So not as much as I should.
All right, so you're going to learn. So, Sean, we're going to school. All right, so here's the thing. We're going to school, and that's a place where Betsy DeVos never went, never sent her kids. And yet, she is now the Secretary of Education. She never went to public school. She never sent her kids to public school. She doesn't believe in public school. But she's our Secretary of Education. And a lot of people called their senators and said, vote no. And a lot of people voted no. And in fact, Senator Al Franken specifically had some problems with Betsy DeVos, and we have a clip of him questioning her in the Senate subcommittee.
This brings me to the issue of proficiency, which the senator cited, versus growth. And I would like your views on the relative advantage of doing assessments and using them to measure proficiency or to measure growth.
Well, thank you, Senator, for that question. I think if I'm understanding your question correctly around proficiency, I would also correlate it to competency and mastery, so that each student is measured according to the advancement that they're making in each subject area.
Well, that's growth. That's not proficiency. So in other words, the growth they're making is in growth. The proficiency is an arbitrary standard.
If they've reached a level, the proficiency is if they've reached a like 3rd grade level for reading, etc.
No, I'm talking about the debate between proficiency and growth.
Yes.
And what your thoughts are on them.
Well, I was just asking to clarify then.
Well, this is a subject that has been debated in the education community for years. And I've advocated growth, as the chairman and every member of this committee knows, because with proficiency, teachers ignore the kids at the top who are not going to fall below proficiency, and they ignore the kid at the bottom who, no matter what they do, will never get to proficiency. So I've been an advocate of growth. But it surprises me that you don't know this issue.
All right, so there you have it. So he's talking about very basic terms used in the field of education, which is a very important field where we actually train people to educate other people. And how we educate people is one of the most important things that happens on planet Earth. And 2 courses of study, just like in psychology, you might believe in this type of psychology or this type of psychology. In the education field, do you believe that we should measure growth, or do you believe it's more important to measure proficiency? The argument being, if you're only measuring proficiency, it could be arbitrarily set, like, can you read the word cat? All right, you're proficient. Whereas growth, you're sort of like measuring yourself against yourself, like how much did you learn this year? You know, for each individual kid, because we all learn differently. So Al Franken was saying he believes in growth. She didn't know what he was talking about. Any thoughts?
It's just sad that these people are in office. These are people who are running our country. It's sad. It's so sad. I mean, I agree that growth is much more important than proficiency. School, I think it's all about passing right now. It's not about, who knows the most and what it is. It's like I don't remember half the things. I don't know anything. I probably know a few things I took and that stuck with me now from high school, but it was all about passing and moving on with my life. So
I think it's stupid that a lot of these people can't answer the questions that are asked to them properly, and they're supposed to be our like leaders and people doing all this stuff. It just doesn't make any sense.
She just seemed like she was uneducated on the topic.
Right?
She really did, just by the way she was talking.
Right. She was like that kid in class who's kind of kind of talks her way around, like dances around, like, oh, I can BS my way through this question.
Well, this isn't the only thing she's done that like BS thing. Like there was this whole conversation around should guns be allowed in school, and she was like, yeah, because I think they need to defend off grizzlies, and like. She was, yes, she did. And then there was a bunch of other conversations. And at least to my like standpoint, I'm just kind of glad I'm done with school because I don't have to deal with it, whatever's going to happen. So
no, unfortunately, public school is just not catered towards everybody. It's catered toward a very single amount of people. So for people like me, like school is not like an awesome place of learning and sticking with what you learn, because like Jabbar said, none of the stuff that you actually learn in school you're gonna ever freaking need. I mean, of course you're gonna need to learn a little bit of history because you don't want to be an idiot, like, oh wait, who was our first president? But like I didn't learn how to ever do taxes. I didn't learn how to buy a house. I didn't learn how to apply for a job. I didn't learn how to like be socially like not awkward. Like there's a lot of people that don't understand social cues and just how to be a normal person, and that, but no, like let's find out what X is in a stupid triangle. That's what's important for sure. Yep. How many here needs to know, like, does anybody in this room ever use like what X is in a triangle more than twice?
Every day.
Someone over there.
Every day.
So that's one person out of how many people are in this room?
No, you need it in order to set your DVR. Like, it comes with, you have to, there's a chart and a graph. And
right.
Then you have to diagram it. And then
right.
you can watch Rachel Maddow. But you can't unless you know simple algebra. No, honestly.
Totally.
I think you're right. I think more life skills should be taught.
Yeah.
I think what they think they're doing is they think they're giving you the building blocks, and then out of that you can build your life. Like out of the math that you learned, somehow you're going to magically know how to do your taxes. Like you're going to know how to apply it.
Right.
Oh, like, well,
and
yeah, we
that's
gave you fractions,
no.
and there's a
You don't
certain
learn how to
percentage of your
apply
money
anything.
that's going to pay your taxes. You should be good. But yeah, no, they don't. And there should be, like, you should be able to sign up for, like, life skills. Like, there should be classes that you take that are...
Life Skills 101.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm going to make a YouTube video on my channel about this whole topic about school. But I always thought that school was about... teachers teach you more about being a great employee, but not a great employer. They teach you the basic skills, but that's why college for me is such a tough topic as well, is because... you're spending all this money, you put $40,000 plus to a program that you're in, but I would rather learn from someone who's Bill Gates and has a program underneath him paying a lot more. I mean, probably a lot less than what a university would teach me. I always just had that mindset. If I want to learn from that direct person, if they have programs or if they have, mentorships. I love that. But that's just me. So
I agree with you.
It's
Like,
totally hard to be taught from someone who hasn't actually like achieved at that thing. And I don't want to be harsh to teachers, because it's like, well, how could you teach me, music if you're not like, a well-off
Like,
musician
you're
that's
not.
succeeded. But at the same time, it's like, I mean, that's personally, I'm like, how can I trust you if you're here, like in Reno, Nevada high school, like teaching me?
well, because there's you just base it on like, do you trust and like this person? Because there's it's hard to make a living in the music industry, and there's a lot of really amazing people who are really, really musical, who have never made it in the music industry, and yet if they have the ability to relate to a young person,
Right.
and they blend that with their musical ability, then that's a gift that they're giving you. So just pay attention and keep your eyes and ears open. And what do you feel you're getting from that person? Because like what Jabbar was saying, like even if Betsy DeVos is our Secretary of Education, like she's not in control of you. You can join clubs, programs, and you can find leadership programs, mentorship programs where you can be actually maybe working in a recording studio and meeting people that work in music, and go outside of your school, and don't expect your school to give you everything you need. Like go in search of it yourself and be proactive in your own education. Read a lot, watch a lot of documentaries, like immerse yourself in just like world history and political events, like so that
Yeah, school's not going to give you exactly what you need. You definitely have to look for it. That is the truth.
because school is hard. I mean, if I
Yeah.
had to go to school today, like I would flunk, because that's hard. They teach you hard things, but they may not teach you the things that you necessarily want to have or need to have. Tara.
My boyfriend's going to college now. Like he's starting up, and he's doing like all the general education classes that we had to like do in high school. And I literally, like what he tells me he's learning, I was like, why do we need this? I mean, yeah, it's college, so like you're going to college for a reason, but it just brings me back to like those are kind of high school classes, and I don't even remember any of that stuff, and he's having to redo it again, and it's not really helping him in life. Like in all honesty, it's looking at stuff, answering a question, moving on. It's not helping him. Just saying.
No, I really hear that.
It's hard, it's a fine line, because you don't want to be stupid and you don't want to not know things. Like you should definitely know those things that they're teaching you, but it doesn't help you really also at all in life. But
well, what I would say is
it's
like,
such a fine line, really, because I don't want to walk into a place and have somebody talk about the Civil War and not know what's going on. That'd be so awful.
Civil War ended. It's not going on.
No, I'm talking
happened?
about like
No, I'm teasing you. No, so like watch one documentary a week, read one New York Times article a day, and just you'll see that stuff starts to overlap. Like, oh, this impacted this and this impacted that, and if you could fall in love with musical theater and memorize Hamilton, and then you're kind of good for like the next 3 years of history, because like, oh dude, I can totally tell you exactly what's going on there, because I know all the words to this one song.
Same.
No, and it's like, because everything overlaps, right? And I think that's the best way to teach, is not just like one subject at a time, but like maybe this portion of history, like what was the math that happened, what was the science that was happening, what was the politics that were happening, what was the religion that was happening, wise, right? So be the master of your own education. Like, don't leave it up to other people, because you see that our leaders, like at this current moment in history, our leaders are not maybe making the best decisions for kids or people or humans in general. So we have to make the best decisions for ourselves and not always depend on that.
Yeah.
Yep. Did I get a snap?
Snap.
All right. So this question says, I've been dating this guy for 2 months and now I'm starting to like someone else. What do I do?
Dump him.
You sit him down. Yeah, you dump him, but you sit him down and like let him know, hey, I have feelings for somebody else. We had a great thing going, but feelings change, and yeah.
Don't be too hard on him, but definitely move on.
Right, you
for
can't
sure.
just like string him along. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, not like the other person. Feelings change. That's the way world works. That's what dating is for. Is to see if you like someone, and if you end up not liking them, you
I
Bye.
agree with that.
The curb.
It's 2 months too, so they don't have a lot of history
No,
and all this stuff
right.
going on. So you might as well cut it off.
And what, you're probably in high school, so he's probably gonna find another girl too, and you're probably gonna go through a couple people. and that's okay.
He'll understand. He'll
Yeah.
understand.
So
And
here-
if he
here's-
doesn't, what a baby.
So here's
honestly.
what you don't do. This is the wrong answer. Sometimes it's good to tell you guys the wrong answer because you can do pretty much anything but this. You don't stay with him and flirt with the dude.
Right,
Oh,
true.
you don't do
That's
that.
the complete wrong thing to
I mean,
do.
I'd hope that would be common sense, but
It isn't.
It isn't.
Common
So many
sense
people
isn't
do
so
that.
common.
It's very common for sure.
Yeah. So you have to.
that was deep.
Sometimes the right thing is the hard thing, and breaking up with someone is like, oh my god, I have to have a really awkward conversation with this person. But you have to do that before you move forward with
And
a
that's
crush.
life. That's
Yeah.
life, though. That is
life.
literally life.
That is life,
It's
and
the
it's
point of dating.
yeah, it's the whole point of dating.
You gotta focus on yourself first. Make sure yourself is happy before your significant other. You know, like don't worry about that other person, and if you're not happy, you know what I mean.
Well, you can worry to an extent in that you have to completely break up before he's going to see you flirting with some other dude, right? Like,
Yeah.
because that's the thing about being young is that you can't really break up with someone and then get in your car and drive away. Like, they're going to be in your class tomorrow. So, you're around each other and you kind of responsible to a certain extent for
Yeah,
doing
let a little
the right
time
thing.
pass before you openly start flirting with the other guy or try to get the other guy just out of kindness.
Out of kindness. Katie Michael, would you read the next question, please?
Sure.
Sure.
I have depression, and sometimes I have these emotional breakdowns. When I do, my best friend gets mad at me and yells at me because he has his own problems and doesn't have time to help me with mine. He always ignores my texts and tells everyone I'm super annoying. He copies my homework and only talks to me when he wants something. Is he a true friend, or is he using me? You answered your own, like he's using you, dude. He copies your homework, and then he only talks to you when he wants to talk to you.
And he talks
This
smack
is-
about you.
Yeah, this is the worst friend ever. Why do you even call him a friend?
A best friend.
A best friend? Why? No, okay. You need to tell him, dude, yeah, you have your own problems, but you're supposed to be my friend, and that's what friends are for. And you should just cut ties with this person.
You know what?
I don't.
When you do
Yikes.
cut somebody off without saying something like, I'm cutting you off, they're going to realize that they're missing out on something good. So maybe he realized, clearly you must mean something to him because he, copies your homework and he only calls you when he wants something. So when you cut that off from him, he's going to be like, damn, I actually miss her.
Yeah.
Or
What a
him,
bad friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Seriously.
What we do for friendship, right? Does anyone have any
guess.
stories?
You're afraid of being alone? Don't. It's great. Being alone is great sometimes.
That's really hard.
That's what a
to
loner
say.
would say.
No, I know, but that's really hard to say to somebody who's in the middle of middle school or high school because being alone is a deep fear.
True.
And you kind of almost can't survive high school or middle school without at least one friend.
I think it will be a very empowering thing for you, though, if you just let go and don't be afraid to be your own person and by yourself and just do your own thing. It's a really great feeling. I remember the first time, okay, so this is obviously when I'm older, but the first time when I went to a rave by myself, I thought I could never go without my friends. I need my friends. I need somebody. But I went by myself and I met so many new people. I was me, myself, and I did what I want when I wanted to. It's honestly such a great feeling if you can get comfortable by yourself, and people will respond to that. It's true.
Right, but a rave is sort of an organically loving environment, and high school is not.
I know. I'm just saying. Well, I know, but that's my experience with being a loner.
No, that's really great. But she's describing herself as being sort of emotionally vulnerable. So, should she have a conversation with this guy, or should she just understand that you're describing him as a friend, but then everything that you described is not a friend?
It's not a friend, so you need to find, if you want to have a friend, you need to find a new friend.
Yeah.
Mic
I mean,
drop.
that's kind of it.
Join clubs and activities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Glee Club.
Glee club. All right, Sean, would you read the next question, please?
I can. I'm trapped. I've been together with this guy for a while, but I know he's not good for me. I don't want to be in this anymore, but because of how attached I am to him, I can't let go. Trust me, we've tried, but we always came back crawling back to each other. I totally read that
That's
wrong.
a good sentence.
I'm sorry. I don't want to let go because it'll upset me to an insane extent like last time. There's a part of me that wants to stick around in the hope that maybe we could get things back to how they were, but it's so draining. I don't want to give up, but I feel like it's the right thing to do, but I can't.
Yikes, that's rough.
Tara is
because-
literally
duh.
holding her head when her jaw is what's actually in pain. But this question put her head in similar pain.
I feel like I see the same thing in like so many different issues in high school. So many people have the same thing. They feel like they can't leave their significant other because they're so attached, but they don't realize as soon as they leave that person and start talking to other people, they're totally
It's gonna be
fine.
better. Yeah.
A week later, you'll be totally fine.
Yeah, don't feel so connected to this person. I mean, there's like definitely other fishes in the sea, and if you know that he's bad for you, then this could go like once you guys get older and new opportunities and what am I trying to say? Obstacles get in the way, you could both spiral into a really, really dark hole of bad things.
It sounds like codependency, does it not?
Yeah.
So how do you
Those
break
are the worst relationships. Honestly, like the relationships that I saw in high school that were codependent, back and forth, back and forth. I hate them, I love them, I hate them, I love them. They're back together, they're not back together. It's a whole big thing. There's always some drama, that there's like a huge fight. Like, who was it? Oh, it was them. Duh. Like they figure it out on by themselves. You're gonna rip your own friendships apart if you don't stop right now. You might, get involved in things with your family that aren't good if you don't stop right now. But I think it's really like they're going to discover it on their own, no matter what their friends say or we say.
Mm-hmm. The good thing about this whole situation is that half the battle's already done. You already know that he's not good for you. It's not like we're over here trying to be like, oh, girl, he's bad. But you already know that. So that's half the battle. Yeah, you gotta go.
Right.
Get
but
the willpower.
It is kind of like a drug. So codependency is like an addiction on a person. So it does hurt, and you do have withdrawal symptoms, and you do get tempted to just, pick up your phone. But you just have to push through the pain until you come out the other side, and there's all these people that are waiting to know you that you don't even notice because you're so focused on this one guy who's not good for you.
I would say maybe like little by little kind of ease yourself away from them. So if instead of doing that date night, like be like, no, I'm just going to stay in. And then instead of going out to lunch, go out to lunch with like your friends or by yourself or something. Like just little by little, maybe ease off so that you realize when you are without them and not thinking about them, you're okay.
But do you think little by little will work? Or does it have to be just pull off the Band-Aid?
I would definitely say the Band-Aid thing for sure. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't ease it out. I wouldn't like drag it out like that.
Because you might be just kind of like going through the motions and then looking forward to going home and calling him rather than just thinking about, okay, I got to figure life out now, how it looks without this person standing there in my frame of focus. Like, oh, when this person moves up, there's...
I feel like that would be like the best, the Band-Aid, but I don't know if that's reality. I mean, if you think of it like a diet or something. Okay, today is the last day I'm not going to do sugar. Today is the last day.
But remember, they've
And then,
already been
you
doing
wake
it
up.
so
They
much.
have already been easing off.
So it's like they have to Band-Aid it.
Oh.
They've already been easing up so much.
And
It's
once you
got
do that,
Band-Aid.
you'll feel so much better in the end. It's just how it is. Right now, she obviously feels sad, and she feels like she says I'm trapped. So, I mean, once she's out of that, she'll be way happier.
Yeah, and if you look at the big picture, it's like you're not really trapped. You're trapped because you decided to be trapped. Like you can,
Like you have the key to the door. Like open it up and go.
Hashtag you have the
Bye.
key.
I got the keys.
Jabbar, would you read the next question, please?
Sure. My friend is bipolar. She's cutting herself, and her mother is mean to me. Sometimes her mother doesn't feed her. What?
Mean to her.
Mean to her.
Makes a whole difference.
Sometimes her mother doesn't feed her. I want advice on how I can help her, but I don't want advice like call a helpline and stuff. I want advice to how I can help her not get other people involved.
So one of my least favorite things, you guys, is people that write to me and say, "Don't tell me blah blah blah." Like, and I'm like, "Don't tell me what not to tell you."
Like, because what
Right?
if the best thing is honestly to call like child, what is it? Child Services.
Child Protective Services.
I mean, they're the ones that can actually really make a difference. If you get in there, you could start some whole bunches of drama that is really not your place. I mean, you can help your friend, obviously, but getting in between the mom issue and the friend, that's something, I mean, at your age that you shouldn't have to handle. And that's too much. And it could escalate. I mean, your emotions, you're not the person that's getting paid to, handle those kinds of situations. So your emotions could get in the way, and then it could just, really turn into something bad, if not maybe violent. I don't know, but nah. I
So,
wouldn't say get in.
what makes kids think that they know enough to provide the services that people go to colleges and graduate programs for years and years and years to be qualified? Like,
they don't.
Because they haven't lived long enough to know that they didn't
to know what they don't know.
Yeah,
Go.
I think for me the biggest line in this question was I want advice to how I can help her, not get other people involved. And the only way you can help her, because you are such a young age, is to get other people involved. There's no working around that. Like, unless the only other thing you could do is take no action at all. Like, there's only two actions you can do: take no action, which is also an action, or get other people involved. And so getting the other people involved, I do agree with Katie Michael. CPS may be an option. I do think that also comes with a lot of other stipulations that may not necessarily benefit your friend, especially if there's other things going on. But I do think that you need to get over the fact that you're going to have other people involved, because she's already involving other people. You're involved.
What
now.
if the situation, because I remember when I was in high school and something similar like this would come upon it, I would make a way big deal, than it actually is.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that, this isn't maybe as bad as it is, because there are situations in life where, kids are getting beat, whatever, or killed by their parents and not being taken care of. But what if, like, this is a situation where it's maybe being a little dramatized?
It could be. It's hard to say exactly, but I think that sometimes kids have seen that when adults get involved, it's not good.
Right.
And if they have like one episode of that, they think, okay, let's just handle this, So,
well, I mean, look at our government. Those are all grown-ups, and
Right.
you know what I mean? Like, they're supposed to know what's going on.
I'm going to call a helpline like, yeah, you guys, you need to check our president, because
Right.
it's bad.
So, no, that's totally valid.
He's abusing all of us.
That's
We're
absolutely
being
valid.
abused. Help!
Well, something she could do is take her friend like away from her mom, and just like show her good things in life, show her happy times, like show her things that aren't at home and like what's making her upset,
Yeah,
Be-
no,
be
that's
her
really
friend.
good. I mean, like,
Just be there for her.
be a friend is like really, really key advice. But you can say things like, "That sounds really hard. That sounds really horrible. You must be really struggling." But at the same time, if your friend had a broken arm, you'd say, "Wow, that looks like it really hurts. Let me go get someone who can set that," because you can't fix a broken arm. So you can be sympathetic and also recognize that you're not the person that's going to know how to fix a broken arm or a bipolar disorder.
Yeah, I just wish we knew a little bit more about what mean was, because like, is it mean like you have to go to bed by 8 p.m. or is it mean saying like you're an awful person, like
No, she's
tearing her
awful.
down?
She doesn't. She's not eating.
Well,
awful.
Yeah, she's
her
not
mother
feeding
doesn't feed her could also be like they don't have money. It just depends. Like my situation, my mom when I was younger, she didn't purposely take food away from me. However, we didn't have food for weeks at a time because there wasn't money in the house. So it doesn't necessarily mean that she doesn't
Right,
feed
you
her.
might not know the whole
that it's
situation.
a
Right.
negative thing. You don't know that. It wasn't specifically stated in the question.
Right.
So for us to give advice on, like, it's very specific. Like, if there were withholding food and they were saying things like you're a SHIT daughter, things like that, call CPS. It's a
Mhm.
very different situation.
That's
But
what
if-
I'm saying. It could be very dramatized.
But if it's dramatized and it's like, just like, oh, she's making me do this and I don't want to do this, blah, 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 all that.
Well, if she's cutting
Then
herself, I don't think it's
Cutting
like,
could come from anything, though. It doesn't necessarily have to be just because of the mother. She could be severely depressed because she's getting bad grades in school or other things. Like,
Yeah.
she's taking it out on the mom, and that's very valid because parents do get the brunt of whatever the kids are dealing with.
Mhm.
So solid.
It really could go both ways.
Solid suggestions include you can just drop an anonymous note off at the guidance counselor's office, and the guidance counselor will follow up on it. So you don't have to feel, have your friend feel like, oh, I told you this in secrecy, and she may narrow it back to you, but look, at some point, with everything that you're saying, cutting, bipolar, not being fed, there's enough red flags here for us to say that
Something's going on.
yeah, something's
True.
going on. All right, so who watched the Super Bowl? Anybody?
Woo!
What up?
Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
honestly, it
Kinda
was
watched it.
such a good game. Falcons deserve to win because they did play a better game. I'm so
But Tom
glad.
Brady, man, Tom Brady.
I'm so glad that the Patriots won because I really wanted Tom to get that extra ring because that is historic. Also, though, Falcons, if they had won, it would have also been as historic.
18
But-
years the Falcons
but
didn't
dude,
get in the
they
Super
left
Bowl.
they left Tom Brady way too much time to get back on his game. But at first, the first 3 quarters, I was like, did the Patriots forget how to play football? I'm not sure where the ball was going. Did you have butter on your hands? Like, why were you not? But they left them. They should have not been such
no,
little
it was
kids at the
too-
third. No, at the third quarter, they left Tom Brady way too much time.
They did, and then
And they came back and
when they were trying to mess it up,
overtime for the first time Super Bowl overtime.
but
we
when
lived
they
through
were
that.
It was
when they
crazy.
were trying to mess it up though, or when they were trying to recuperate everything, it was 2 bad calls that one of the coaches made with Matt Ryan getting sacked. It's like, seriously, why did he get sacked? And then we kept trying to throw the football. Don't throw the football. Hold on to the football so you can get that dang field goal. So then we can be at 3 points, and their stupid little 2-point thing wouldn't have happened, and it wouldn't have made the thing.
Did we watch different games? Because my headline is Gaga.
Dude, okay, Gaga was also dope. Honestly,
Right?
she was amazing.
I thought
but-
she was good. I thought it could have been more entertaining.
What?
No, I thought it was great.
No.
I'm not sure what you're
I
talking
didn't
I
even
thought it was
watch it.
great.
I didn't watch the halftime show.
I didn't get to
I just
watch
caught
it.
up and left.
I just know I was out and about, and I just was like, Lady Gaga jumped from the ceiling. I was like, what the heck?
Yeah, it was like
on?
mic drop, Gaga drop.
Yeah, seriously. No, but I mean, at the end of the day, at the end of the day, all you can ask for is a good game, and it was a good game. I'm just
Alright.
saying,
It was
our
a great game.
generation is living through some crazy ass first, some crazy
Yeah.
stuff. I'm like, as also bad, 50% bad. It's also 50% awesome. And
Okay, so did anybody watch any of the commercials?
Yeah,
yes,
I see a couple. on
Yes,
Facebook.
yes, we did.
So did it?
I
do you
missed a
think
couple because obviously bathroom break, but
Did you think that there was some running themes? Did you think it was maybe deliberate or just
Yeah,
accidental?
very
What-
I
deliberate.
like the Coca-Cola one. Do we remember that?
yeah, that was definitely I think a hit on our country and
Where
what.
they
I
were,
think a lot of them
all
were
singing
hits on
and
things
stuff.
going
So
on
it's
right now.
describe the Coca-Cola one because
For sure.
I don't
I mean, I
remember.
kind of was focused on the halftime show, and then I had other stuff.
No,
to
so
do.
the Coca-Cola
It
one,
was
they
right
sang
in the beginning.
they sang "God Bless America" in all these different countries, languages.
Wow.
And so that's obviously,
Mhm.
talking about how America is supposed to be very a welcoming place, and you can come here, no matter who you are, what you do, what you like, what you prefer, you can come here and try to make your dreams
Yeah.
come true. And obviously, Donald Trump doesn't, believe in that.
Well, I think that was a general theme. I think even the Budweiser commercial was basically the founder coming from another country and
Yeah.
immigrating to this country. And
No,
it was
they were
like,
all
oh,
very.
And we've got
political.
one. We've got
Sips
one
tea in
for
the
you
corner.
tonight. I don't know if you guys saw this one, but take a look at the monitors. This is the Airbnb commercial.
I mean, honestly, at first, do you even think that's Airbnb? No. That's totally political, if you ask me.
Looks like a Photoshop commercial.
I think it's deeper than that, Sean.
No, but I get it. I get what you mean.
They're
But
like
hashtag we
I kinda
accept.
Hashtag-
Hashtag we accept. Come on.
yeah, because
Yeah,
they want
pretty
money
nice,
for their
pretty nice.
rooms.
and then
Airbnb.
there was an 84 Lumber. Now I've never seen an 84 Lumber store, but I'm ready to go shop there.
What is
Right.
that?
I'm gonna buy
I
80.
think this
I'm
is
gonna
the
buy.
one I missed.
I'm gonna buy 84 Lumbers tomorrow because lumbers are good to have, and I need 84 of them. Show a little bit of this ad, Matt. You had it queued up. All right, let's talk amongst ourselves. So this ad, if you go to YouTube, there's a longer version of it. It's like a whole epic movie short. But there's a mother and a little girl who are trying to make their way to the United States, and the girl is picking up little scraps along the way that she finds left behind. And meanwhile, these guys are building something, which I think you can probably guess what that's going to be. So she's picking up her little scraps. Spoiler alert, it's a wall. But it's a wall builder with a heart of gold.
He's probably happy that he has a job. Honestly, you know.
Well,
If that was real
Trump
life.
is going to put people back to work. But he's not going to get paid until Mexico pays for the wall.
Dude, honestly, I went to the store and avocados were now $1. My 69-cent avocados are now $1. I don't understand.
First world problems.
All right, so I think we get the gist of this. It was pretty emotionally wrenching. I liked the 84 lumber ad very much. But yes, thematically there were a lot of ads that were sort of like
Controversial.
maybe corporate America's way of saying to Trump or saying to us, the consumers, we're not
Happy.
we're not who the president is.
Yeah.
Because, and do you think that they're responding to the protesters or?
I think it's just in general, people are understanding that this is not how we're supposed to be. This is not what America
Represents.
this is not what we represent. And of course it's, so that we as consumers, are like, yeah, okay, I do want to, buy that Budweiser beer because they understand me. But at the same time, it's like, it's trying to tell, our government, like, this is not what we want. This is not who we are. It's not what we're trying to be.
And we do speak with our wallets because I think who was it that discontinued Ivanka Trump's line of something or other?
Nordstrom.
Nordstrom, yes. And now there's people online saying if Macy's doesn't stop carrying it, I'm going to stop going to Macy's. So there are,
for sure.
Yeah, there are
huge
ways for us to be that fourth branch of government, the people.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, like, I don't know if you guys heard, but The Dog's Purpose. I was so excited to go to that movie until there were some
Clips.
articles about and clips, about the dogs that were actually being mistreated that were on set, and so now there's a huge boycott, which is
Don't go see it.
super. Like, that's so freaking sad. What did that dog ever do to you? I honestly hate you. If you could read between the lines, seriously.
I'm also
It's
we
the
see
worst.
clips and stuff, but the videos that I've seen, I watched probably all of them. Dogs don't like water. Like, you put them in a bathtub and they're like, I don't want to go in there. So
there's
imagine
like 1 out of
raging
10.
water and they're like, okay, what is this? But there's trainers there and there's, they're safe.
They're there for their protection.
They're safe. Yeah, he went under, but they were right there to pick him up. And
What
then
kind
they
of
just
dog?
have a
Here's
dog to
my thing.
replace
Here's my
him.
thing. The only reason that you're saying that is because the dog can't talk for himself. And that's what my problem is with humans thinking that they're better than all these animals because they can't talk for themselves. If all these animals could talk for themselves, maybe there'd be a dog out there that could say, like, okay, yeah, no, like, I don't really like the water. I'll go under.
I don't
but
think
that's
it's
fine. No, it's serious.
I don't think it should be called abuse though. Like, it wasn't like they weren't beating the dog. They were just like trying to get a cool
These
shot.
dogs are trained dogs. They
Yeah.
do this for a living.
They pushed them in the water. in the
No,
one
he.
clip.
Well, they're not
going
gonna
to
jump in by themselves.
Put him dangling the feet, and the dog was like, "No, I don't want to go," and they brought him back out. We didn't see that clip of them pushing them in, so we can't know.
what kind of dog is it?
There is a clip of them putting
Well,
them.
wait.
And that dog is floating to the end
What
of the
kind of
pool,
dog
and then
is
it
it?
goes
Take him out
under and they
immediately.
take him out.
Jabbar, what kind of dog is it?
It's a German, probably.
Okay,
I
because
believe.
retrievers do like the water. So you can't just like
Well,
blanket.
no, there are some dogs, of course, that love water,
In
and
the
then
cl- in the
other
video-
dogs don't.
In the
like
video clip,
water.
the dog was like,
There's some
they were-
cats that like water.
you were like putting it over the water, and then the dog was like kind of like wheezing and trying to not go in the water, jumping out, and then they pushed it in anyways, and that's why that's
I'm just
why
saying,
it's
if that was
so
a kid
controversial.
actor or something, or if that was a human actor that didn't want to go, they would have changed the script, and it wouldn't have done, and they wouldn't have done that. That's my problem.
To that point, can I just say, sometimes I feel like we're more protective of animals than we are of humans because we get more upset.
Because humans can talk for themselves.
Agreed.
Humans can talk for themselves, and nobody wants to.
Because we were more upset about the football player that was having dogs fight each other than we are about the football players who beat up their wives. And wives are people.
Because those people can think for themselves and should be. I mean, no, obviously, not, I'm totally harsh when it comes to humans because if I was being beat, I would turn around and beat them back. But that's just who I am. And I know a lot of people aren't that way. And I'm sorry, those people. But the thing is that animals are not able to talk for themselves.
So you feel like
it's
they're
our
more
job-
vulnerable, yeah.
Yes, of course, because we bulldoze right over them. The planet can't talk for themselves. So we just cut down all these trees. We take down all these natural habitats because they can't talk for themselves. And they can't tell us, like, hey, stop. Or, like, we're all just going to die.
How many trees were cut down to build that stupid wall?
I'm saying.
Right.
Like, if you don't recycle,
I'm bringing it full
honestly,
circle.
jump off a bridge.
This is what we
Like,
started talking about, remember? Back in the day.
Jumps off a bridge.
Next question. Well, you can't read with your swollen mouths and jaws and things. So,
Lispy.
Joshua, would you read the one? that comes after.
Okay. How could someone say they love you but still decide to break up with you? I don't get it.
Because they don't actually love you. They're just trying to hurt.
That's not true.
Yeah,
That's
they're
not
trying
true
to
at
save your
all.
feelings.
No, you can still love somebody but not want to be with them.
Because it's not. It may not be a
'Cause-
healthy relationship. You love them, but it may not be
Yeah.
healthy. Go speak
You-
wise
you-
one.
Go ahead. Speak wise.
Wise one.
So, I mean, I agree with what you just said, which that it might not be healthy and the person still loves them. I think that in like this specific circumstance, how I interpreted the question was that they are breaking up with you and still saying at the same time that they love you, which I don't understand.
I have-
that.
I have a-
that's, I think, more of the like they're trying to save face and not hurt your feelings type deal.
They may have said something like, "I love you, but I'm not in love with you."
Yeah,
Which
I
is
mean, I
like-
do think that it's possible to
Oh
like.
man, that would suck.
That's
Right?
I do think it's possible that's to still have feelings for your ex and love them and respect them and be okay with them, but not want to be with them. And I don't think that it's something that should be having the same conversation. As
I have an
breakup.
ex that I can definitely say I still love because they were my best friend at one point. You know, they were my best friend before we were dating, and they were even continued to be friends with me after. And like they're a really cool person. I could say I still love them and care about them deeply.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Okay,
Yeah.
that
it
makes-
depends on the situation,
That
really.
makes sense. Okay, yeah.
It does make
you can
sense
love
that-
it. There's different kinds of love.
There is different kinds of love,
Yeah.
and I think you have to sort of like sometimes behavior
Idiot.
speaks louder than words, so they could be saying whatever they feel or whatever they feel they need to say, but they're saying they're breaking up with you. That's the part you need to hear because the
Yeah.
action is that you need to make another plan. They don't want to be in a relationship with you anymore. That's the hard part to hear. And I know we always go over it and like rewind conversations and try to figure out where the split started so that you can mend it. But if they're saying that they want to break up with you, that's the part you have to really hear.
Yeah, and I think it's important for you to like not get hung up on the love you part and just like I said, really go for the taking on that they're breaking up with you. And if they are saying I love you at the same time, it's just more insensitive on their part because they are breaking up with you. And if they're breaking up with you, there needs to be a time period where you cut things off. You just don't act a certain way with each other, and then you can get back to we love each other as people and not just like right away, because it does get confusing and there is mixed messages if you're trying to sit there and love someone that you just broke up with.
Mm-hmm.
So
yes.
yeah,
I love you so much, but I'm gonna break up with you and never see you again.
that's
I'm
I think
so
that's what's
sorry.
getting that's what's hanging her up. She's like, I don't get it.
You
And
deserve
I think
so
that's
much
the approach
more
that
than
he's
me.
taking.
Yeah.
So he needs to back off a little bit and then show the love at a little later date. So.
All right, Katie, Micah, would you read the next question, please?
This one's long.
It is long.
Do you have any advice for long distance relationships? Yes. Me and my boyfriend are 19 and we have been together since high school and we are planning to get married someday. We go to college in different states and only get to see each other during school breaks. Our relationship is great when we see each other, but I'm sad a lot and when we're both at school because I miss him. You're sad because you miss him, right? How can I enjoy college more and feel connected to my boyfriend when our relationship is long distance? So this honestly is like, I'm confused. Did I write this question when I was 19? Because I left high school with a 2-year relationship. I moved to LA. There's something in my eye. He moved to Nebraska. And if you had asked us when we ended high school if we were going to get married, we were like, yes, that's what's happening. And look at me now, single, and I don't know where he is. So the thing is with long distance relationship, it's like, it's so hard because if you're doing school, I mean, I wasn't doing school, I was doing work, but like that takes up so much of your time and you need to be focused on that, obviously, because you're paying a lot of money to be there. How you feel connected with my suggestions, you have Skype dates, call each other, don't text all the time because it's like, oh, what are you doing? And that's what really killed our relationship. It was like every other text was like, okay, so what are you doing? Like, what are you doing now? Kind of thing like that. But definitely Skype, call each other when you do get to go see them, obviously make the most of it. But I don't know, my experience with long distance relationship, it didn't work. When we were apart, I was like, I don't actually want to be with him. There was all these other people that I was meeting. He didn't like that I was meeting other people and having a lot of fun. I don't think that's what's happening here, obviously, but my suggestion is just like, don't be with him over the phone and Skype and text so much where you beat the relationship into the ground because there's nothing to talk about. but definitely try to plan those Skype dates. That's really all I can say about that. But I don't know if it's gonna work, and don't think that you're gonna get married to them. You might, but don't have that be your end goal, and that's it. Because if I don't get married to them, like, that's my thing, because then you're gonna cut yourself off from all these other things that could happen, all these other opportunities that could happen.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with everything that's been said. I never been one to recommend long distance in this age range, even though I've done it.
Especially in this age range.
Yeah, in this age range, because there's a certain
so
level
much
of
to try.
There's so much to try, as well as there's a lot that you have to do in committed long distance relationships, such as travel to each other, and that's a commitment. And at 19, you might not have the money to just travel state lines all the time. And then you're going to be like, well, sitting sad alone all the time. And I will say, if you're going to do this, that the sad is natural and it's always going to be there, whether you like it or not. So, like, you find a hobby, do some other things to get your mind off it, have the Skype dates.
But you have to have fun, too.
Have fun, have the Skype dates, do whatever you want to do. I don't recommend having long distance. You're already in it. So I also don't say just break up because it's long distance. I don't agree with that either. I think that if you think you can make it work, then make it work. For me, it ended up working out. She now lives with me. So it's a different story. I mean, it could work out. Who
Don't
knows?
stop you. Don't not do something because, oh, well, I'm in a relationship. You know what I mean? You need to also be your own person at this age. And you can do that with being in a relationship. That's not impossible.
Yeah.
But you need to also be your own person and have fun in college. So if you think you can't do something because you're in a relationship, obviously don't cheat on the person. That's not what I'm saying. But you know what I mean? Like, still live your life. Being in a relationship that shouldn't stop that. And if you feel like that's stopping it, then bye.
I think it can work if you both give each other a really long leash. And it's not that common.
For sure.
And
It's
that
not
takes
that common
maturity.
where both are willing to. So
Maturity level is definitely
right,
key.
it takes a lot of maturity and, like, being able to delay gratification, being able to say, well, I will be Skyping with you on Sunday and we'll be planning spring break, but in the meantime, just be comforted by knowing that I'm loved and this person is elsewhere and we're both going to go do our thing. And don't question or challenge everything they've been doing.
Yeah.
And don't allow
Don't be
them
on
to
the
do.
phone with them all the time.
Don't do that.
24/7.
I
You
will
don't
say,
want to be texting this person
if you-
24/7.
if you make it through the long distance part, it actually does benefit the relationship in a lot of ways, because you can
If
like
you
okay
can last.
if you can last, because it's like if you schedule and make it a priority that you're having the Skype date on Sunday and both of you do it, that shows the level of commitment from both of you, as well as if you and trust. And if you're having those visits, then it's extra. And then once you do, I always will say that the one key to make it work is have something to look forward to and a date of reunification, even if it's just a trip or whatever, but a date that you're going to be able to see each other next, because it gives you a countdown rather than a question of the unknown future.
You'll have a healthier relationship if you are able to do everything that Josh said, but also don't let the relationship hold you back, because you'll be so much happier.
Right. Excellent. Okay. It's Sean's turn to read.
Again?
Excitement.
I totally got lost. Oh, there
How
I
to
am.
talk to you.
How to talk to your parents and family into letting you get transgender surgery. Open to any suggestions?
My favorite questions are the ones that are phrased like Google searches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How to?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, discuss.
I mean,
is anybody transgender here? I wish.
no, I mean, I have a
'cause-
few friends that are, though.
Okay, please.
So, I mean, I think that it really depends on your relationship to your parents and how they are with your transgenderness, if that's politically correct. I don't know. I think that if they're not okay with you being transgender, they're not going to support you doing the surgery. If they're okay, then maybe they will, especially if they have money.
That's my thing. It's obviously about the money. Because if you had the money yourself, you wouldn't really need to
Well,
ask
yeah,
your
it's
parents.
about the money for this person, and I think that it really depends on where your parents stand in supporting you. And even if they do support you, they may not have the money for it.
Yeah.
So it really is a multifaceted question, not a Google answer.
Right, and it's tricky too, because if you're trying to go male to female, a lot of people want to get that done before they go through puberty, because they don't want to have an Adam's apple or broad shoulders, or they want to at least have the hormone suppression therapy. And so I'd say make sure your parents know that this is what you want, and see if they're on the same page and what they can afford and what they're willing to do before you get to an age where you may know your mind more clearly than you know at 12, which is usually when puberty, when the onset of puberty. So transgender is really, really tricky and on a lot of different levels. Yeah, go ahead.
There's a if you can, I don't know what the name is, but there's this guy who got started going through the motions at like 13 or 15 or something. He became a full-blown girl and now is married to this like hot guy and has like 3 kids or something, and it literally shows the pictures and everything, and she's beautiful, but so it's not like impossible to know at that age, obviously, but definitely be sure because you can't come back.
So before you do the surgery, I would say try to see if your parents will be on board for hormone suppression so that you can offset the onset of, secondary
know your options.
Characteristics of being male or female. So for boys, if you're born female and you're a boy, the worst thing for that kid is to have breasts. Like, he does not want breasts. So these are the things that you can with hormone suppression, you can offset the onset of that. And then when you're 18, if you still decided, okay, this is who I am, I'm male, then you can then opt to have the surgery. But we're not experts on this, and there's a lot of research that's already been done, and you can even join groups in your community for other LGBTQ kids so that you can get all of your questions answered, because it's individual, and someone who can look at you face to face and go like, oh, okay, let me see what I can do to help you, because I know someone that had a similar situation.
And I'm glad that a lot of YouTubers now are open about this. Like
yes,
Gigi Gorgeous and stuff like that. They're very open and filming the whole process. So that's a good source too.
Yes,
I hope your parents are supportive when you do ask them.
Well, I think that's back to what I was saying. I think there's 2 main routes for this. If they're not supportive, wait till you're 18 and figure it out on your own. If they're supportive of you, then just have the conversation. There's no how to. Your parents are your parents, and only you're going to know how to approach that situation.
Right.
So.
And, the good news is that in the olden days, like when I was a kid, people just had to live with, there was really nothing that people could do. Very rarely did anybody get gender reassignment. And now I'm finding out that so many more people have this situation than I ever thought. And so if you have these thoughts, if you're 12 or 14, you have these thoughts, you now know you can go to YouTube and watch someone else's journey and know that, like, oh, I'm completely normal. This is just how I was born and who I am, and I can be the adult that I want to be and not have to keep it, inside my own head and heart my whole life. Like, that's no longer, people lived and died feeling like the opposite sex.
It's just so crazy to me to think, honestly, that, because like this is not something that's just happening now. Like, this is obviously a thing that, like, people have been gay forever, people have been lesbian forever, people have probably wanted to be the other gender forever, and like only now is it.
And this is
if
this is when you're here on Earth, like, you're the most fortunate person in the world if this is when you're here on Earth, like, getting to watch all this.
I know there are a lot of good things to be thankful about, honestly.
So it's Jabbar's turn to read.
Okay. I've been dating this guy who lives in another country, and it was going well for a while, but then out of the blue, he broke up with me. A few days later, he said he regretted it and wanted me back, so I took him back. But now he's done that to me around 3 or 4 times, and I don't know what to do. He's been so confusing, and I can't tell if he's playing me or not. Should I just end it or keep trying?
I think he's cheating on you.
He's definitely playing you.
Not cheating on you, but
He's playing with you. I had this in high school with this Australian kid, and his friend actually broke up with me over Skype for him. What? So yeah, thanks.
Good day.
But yeah, like, for the first time he did it, you shouldn't have taken him back. But now that he's done it 3 or 4 times, girl or boy, what are you doing? Cut it out, like Joey would say.
He wants to be with you, but he doesn't want to be with you when he wants to be with somebody else. So he's breaking up with you so he doesn't have to be guilty to, I'm guessing, somebody like being with somebody else. It's not that he's having trouble. It's that, okay, I want you right now, but no, now this other girl's here, so I'm going to break up with you so I don't have to feel bad.
Yeah.
Go be with this girl, and now is back with you.
This is a fool me once situation.
Yeah.
You need to run.
It's been 4 times.
Run, Forrest, run.
Right, run, Forrest, run. How many TV shows and movies have you quoted in the last 3 minutes? It's pretty impressive.
I don't know, but I ate at Bubba Gump's last night right before I got my wisdom teeth out, and it was so delicious.
Wait, how did that
Something's
fit in
kicking
there?
in. She's
Run, Forrest, run, Bubba Gump's.
Oh,
Bubba
I
Gumps.
missed the run, Forrest,
All right.
run part. Okay, I was like, how did we get to Bubba
Josh.
Gumps again? Where was I?
Read, Josh, read.
Do most girls lie about their period to seem cool? 5 people did that at my school and were found out the next year, and now they have very few friends.
Wait,
Oh
lie
my
that they
God,
have, like
about-
they've started period, or
Yeah.
they have.
This is where I cover my ears.
I
This
think.
is the best question.
What do you think, Katie Michael? Like, I mean, I think some people do it, but
I don't
think
think
like it's
any
a thing.
girl would ever be like, yeah, I started my period.
They
like,
do,
Oh, yeah, they
No,
do.
they do.
Not in my high school. Nobody
But that's what I'm
ever
saying,
would
like,
be like,
I don't think it's very common, but
No,
it does happen because I know some people who did that too.
that had never
Yeah.
happened to me.
That's definitely
think
like a
it's, like,
middle school thing.
People
Yeah.
lied more about like doing sexual stuff than they ever did about like their period.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
but it
of
makes you seem a
course.
lot
I mean,
older
that-
if all your friends haven't had their period yet, and then you're like all of a sudden, oh, I'm old now, I have my period. That makes you
Exactly.
way cooler than everyone
Sean's
else.
right. If you're in a
guess.
group of friends where like one popular kid says she has her period, then the other kids are gonna say they have their period because there's
Yeah.
no like physical
Definitely.
I
examination
don't
that
think
anyone.
that's cool. I think that's so inconvenient.
Of course, you think
Now-
it
now, but
do you
back
know how
then-
many letters I get from kids who want to know when they're going to get their period? Like I have
mean,
some
yeah,
sort of
I
They're
was like
excited
that.
about it before they ever get
magical
it.
powers.
Are you
that can-
serious?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
They
was.
think it makes
I
them a
was.
woman.
I mean,
Sean,
I
yours is coming.
didn't. I didn't lie about mine, but like I knew I was like, when am I gonna get it? Because everyone else got it. Because I got it in freshman year. But it is like I think just like to wrap up the question, it's not common, but it does happen. But you shouldn't lie about it because we're telling you you don't want your period. It's so
Yeah,
friggin'
it's
annoying.
So inconvenient.
Well, what's also interesting about this story is that 5 people did it. They were all found out. Like someone said, "Could you please show me your maxi pad because I don't see anything
Yeah,
here."
how did
I
they
think
find
this
out
is
about
so
that?
And
stupid.
now they have no friends. Like,
Well, I think the
all
note-
of this in
So
one sentence.
stupid.
Yeah, I mean that's a lot in a sentence. I think. Well, I don't know how she knows 5 people, but I do think that
How did they get found out?
I feel it. I don't want to
Someone
know.
snitched.
But I think that overall, the they don't have very few friends is because they lie. Probably
Exactly,
about
it's
other
the lying
things.
part.
yeah.
So I think that there's really. I don't think they lie to
Probably.
seem cool. I just think they lied. to-
So-
There's a group of
I'm
5
gonna-
people
I
that
just
all
wanna-
like knew that they were all lying and they like were in cahoots. And they were
Right.
just
Now,
like,
I think that there's
So
like this sort of like
confused.
let's
period
call it
pact. So-
puberty competition,
I guess.
right? Where what happened?
Period pack.
No, period pact. It's like the pregnancy pact movie. It's like a.
No, but let's talk for a second because the period is just one example of this. I think boys lie about whether or not they've had sex or
pubic hair.
pubic hair or what have you.
That
so
was one thing when
so
I-
it's
when I was
this
12.
puberty
Let's not
competition
remind
where
about high
everybody
school.
feels left behind, especially if there's certain aspects of period like breasts that you can clearly see. You know, period is more kind of private, so it's easy to lie about. Yes, Tara.
I mean, I just like really quickly want to touch on like the boys lying. Like, I know this has nothing to deal with like periods and stuff, but it's so common that people do lie to be like, "Oh, I'm so cool," like Sean said.
More grown
because
up.
I had this. This is gonna get kind of like interesting, but I had this junior guy who went around everyone telling them that I gave him a blowjob, and I've never done any sexual activity until I was outside of high school, and it got around to everyone, and everyone was talking about it, and it was like, what the heck? But he did that to seem cool because he did want to get with me, but then I wouldn't do anything with him. And so he made that rumor and everyone was believing him and no one believed me. And I was like, well,
Wow.
I didn't. Like,
That's
I
like
promise
half the
that's
fun
gross
for.
to me.
That's like half the fun for a guy in high school is to tell all his friends what he did. That's.
but
that's
he
just how
did
it
it.
is.
Like, it was a lie.
I know that's
and
not what he did, but
yeah.
he had to have half the fun. He didn't. Want, he
Yeah,
didn't have
yeah.
all of it, so he had to have half of it.
But it's
To
right.
seem
But it's
cool.
right. It's so impossible to prove a negative, right? So
Oh,
from
yeah.
her perspective, it was just like, do I deny it, or do I not say anything? Do I let it,
You just laugh
Pardon
it
me.
off.
Yeah,
Pun
people
blow
do
over?
all these things to look cool.
I
and
think
it's
the
just not
moral of
cool.
the story here is don't lie, kids.
just
Yeah.
be, hey kids,
Don't lie.
hey,
That's a
just
sin.
just know that like everyone is going to grow up, so it's not a competition. The only thing that really matters is like
Although, unfortunately, it is.
well, it shouldn't be, because what matters more, what makes you a man or makes you a woman is your
Subjective.
character. It's your character. What kind of a person are you? Are you kind? Nobody cares whether or not you have your period because everyone's going to get their period, except for the guys. Sorry, boys. But
I hate you
Dang
guys.
what kind of a person are you? How kind are you? Do you tell the truth? Notice here that the thing that got these 5 kids in trouble wasn't about whether or not they had their period. It was about that they lied. And that's why Martha Stewart went to prison. Not because she knew something about a stock, but because she lied about it. Same thing with Bill Clinton. He lied about sexual relations with that woman. So just tell the truth, because we all grow up at some point. Puberty is coming for everybody, and it really doesn't measure.
Coming for
doesn't,
you.
doesn't measure
Prepare.
anything about how cool you are. The coolest thing you can do is to be kind. Am I right, kids?
True that. Honestly, like
100%.
in my school, like the really, really nicest kids ever, they were the people you all wanted to be.
And
They
you
were the
can
popular
be.
ones.
'Cause
They
being-
were the popular ones. No, low key. Like,
Yeah.
honestly.
I wish
Just
I
chill
went
kind.
to your high school. My high school
No,
was
you
like
don't.
so different than
It was
yours.
honestly so rough.
Well, you say good
McQueen
things.
High
and
School.
bad things.
Ah.
Shouts out.
Let's wind it down with that catchy theme song. Thank you guys. You've been fantastic. Thank you, Matt Sigmund and Lindsay and Andrew and Trisha Bach
Andrew and Lindsay.
and Aaron Bach. All the Bachs.
Aaron
Give it up
Bach.
for yourselves. Yay. See you next week.
Bye bye.